He epitomized everything you want to see in a football player.
That's where hard work gets you right here.
He was everything we wanted the award to stand for. I'm going to give you some of my mom's homemade blackberry cobbler.
Holy proud club.
Some of the memories from the Phil Simms All-Iron Award, which is back. And you can vote now at CBSSports.com. The most valuable player award of the game.
Yeah, go on and vote. We're going to give the fans 50% of the vote this time around. That was a good. My mom is sitting home smiling right now.
Yeah.
Tom Brady goes, oh my gosh, that's good.
she just loved making that cobbler every year, and we sent along our warmest Thanksgiving wishes to our moms.
That's right.
Yours down in Louisville, mine down in Houston. Yeah, here's some of the past history.
Stephen Boyd was the greatest the first time we ever did it.
Peyton Manning, by the way, when he won it, his coordinator was Jim Caldwell.
Jim Caldwell, six touchdowns. Tony Romo, man, many times. Tom Brady had I think a 6-touchdown day too, right? When he was here, did he throw 6 touchdowns? No.
Yeah, I don't remember it that way.
Yeah, my memory's not as sharp as it used to be.
We've been in some games where he's thrown 6.
Yeah.
One against Tennessee and one against Denver in a playoff game. We were present. Almost into the arms of Jason Jones. By the way, you said that fans get 50% of the vote as you see Jones almost making the interception. Who gets the other 50%?
Us.
Oh, okay.
Our crew.
I didn't know. Okay.
Yes, you get the vote in on it. But you look at this Chicago Bears offense. Takes so many plays to get down the field. Now, Detroit, they weren't worried about the run before, and they will have no second thoughts. All efforts going to the quarterback.
Brady had a 4-touchdown game here on Thanksgiving when he won the award. Here's a 2nd and 10. And Bennett will give him a new set of downs out at the 37. I'm just glad to be somewhere in that 50 percentile that will get a chance to have a voice.
I include everybody. You know that.
I'm
a man of the people.
You always have been. You're stealing my lines now.
Yeah, I know I am.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good job. Jay Cutler finally had a little space in front of him. In situations like this, defensive lineman, you got to be disciplined. Stay where you're supposed to stay in front of the quarterback.
Cutler taken down. That's Jones, who almost had the pick a couple of plays ago. Gets the sack on this occasion.
Well, nobody back there to help Jay Cutler or to help the offensive line. Jordan Mills worried about the speed outside. He's out of the lineup the last couple of weeks, and Jason Jones, just another good pass rusher for the Lions.
3rd sack of the season for Jones. 2nd of the day for Detroit. Second and 18 now for the Bears. As Cutler goes way down the field. Intended for Jeffrey. Well, they had just picked up that 1st down on the throw to Bennett. The sack by Jones takes a little steam out of things for the Chicago Bears. And now you can hear the roar inside this Lions den. Josh Morgan's coming in as an extra receiver for this 3rd and 18. Cutler buying time, and look at Levy knock it away. Beautifully covered up. He was on Forte.
Yeah, DeAndre Levy, just a terrific linebacker. Reminds you a lot of Luke Kuechly down in Carolina. And he is good in all phases. Just plays with great instincts. Always stays on the field. Good pass defense.
Cutler having completed now just 2 of his last 9. Another beautiful booming punt. And that's Ross Brought down by Perry. 61 yards, again matching a season long. That last drive by the Lions that led to a touchdown, the first 95-yard drive since 2009 for them.
Hi, I'm Rob Sims with Detroit Lions. This is my wife, Natalie, my daughter, Michaela, and my son, Scoop. On behalf of our family and the Detroit Lions, we want to wish you Happy Thanksgiving.
What a nice family, and one of the better family Thanksgiving greetings we've ever had from the Sims family. And there he is, lined up as the Lions start this next series. Sims, the left guard, number 67. That's Tate. What a shifty move that was to pick up the first. He was able to fake out Ryan Monday and pick up 11.
Yeah, I think that was a run play, and they were off. So the defense was off, so he threw it out there quick. That's tough to do, to shake NFL defensive backs where they don't even touch you.
That's why he's number 1 in the league, yards after the catch. Seen it a couple of times today.
Hey, straight back.
You're 2 scores down. You can only give so much on this drive.
Monday this time is not going to be faked out. Makes the tackle. Gain of 2.
And what I mean, Jim, you just can't give up yards. A field goal beats you. Soft coverage, zone. Look how easy. Safety's back. Easy throw for Stafford. And look at this. Way off. Play action fake. Nobody between Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson. And, you know, this defense, it worked well the last couple weeks. When you look at Minnesota and Tampa Bay, they're young offenses. They don't have that established quarterback and receiving core like Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson.
2nd and 8. There it is. Just what you diagram. Calvin Johnson with his 11th catch.
And this is a style what the Chicago Bears play. They don't hit the wide receivers off the line of scrimmage, and boy, Calvin Johnson loves it.
Now 11 for 146 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And you look at all time, at least 100 games in competition, Calvin has the highest average yards per game for any receiver.
Great list here.
All time.
Torrey Holt, Jerry Rice, my gosh.
Andre Johnson. And there is Bell for 2. By the way, the Thanksgiving Day triple header continues later today on Fox and NBC. We pass along our holiday wishes to the crews that will be bringing you games from Dallas and San Francisco. Joe and Troy and Al and Chris and all their production and technical teams.
Bears got to stop somewhere. You got to take a chance.
2nd and 8. Knocked down. Perfectly timed by Willie Young.
Well, Willie Young. Of course, you know, when you come back to a team that you played for, that is a tremendous motivation. Over the right tackle, keeps moving. And that kind of stops. That knockdown was huge. Stopped the first down. I think that was Golden Tate wide open over the middle.
And this is a huge 3rd down for this Bears defense. With 10.5 remaining.
Well, it looks like they're giving the blitz look. This is what they love to do. A guy on each side of the center. Both linebackers.
The Cubs got away, and the ball's incomplete. In and out of the arms of Calvin Johnson. Somehow Stafford got it away before DeMontre Hurst just flattened him.
He is a magician when it comes to throwing the football under pressure like that. To still get that kind of power on it. But the blitz lets him get there quick enough, and he felt it, and it was just far enough off target to make it incomplete and keeps the Bears in the game.
Yep, Lions have to punt from the Bears 46. Lions are down there to cover it up. Oh, what a beautiful punt, too. Sam Martin. Don Carey is the one who eventually downed it. After 43 yards, Martin gets it done. We're back in Detroit. The world champion Bears back in 1934, coached by George Halas, came to Detroit and beat the Lions on Thanksgiving Day at University of Detroit Stadium. That was the first ever Thanksgiving Day game. And it was these two very franchises. Now the Bears down. 2 touchdowns, 10 minutes to play. In some ways, it's a fight for their season right now, Phil.
Yes, I think you could think of it that way, Jim. So many teams in the NFC have a 2-game lead on the Chicago Bears. The margin of error very slim.
We just look inside their own division. A couple of games behind the Lions, and there's Green Bay 8-3. But you think about the wild card, second teams from divisions that are going to get in. Just think about Dallas and Philadelphia, their records right now at 8-3. You got the West, and you got very highly qualified teams, much better records than the Bears. And here's Cutler off his back foot going down the field, and it is intercepted on the rebound by Quinn. First deflected by Slay, and the Lions defense has the takeaway.
Well, he's just so off balance to make this throw, and the receiver's right in front of him to pick up the first down. And because he was off balance, the throw was short, and Slay tips it up in the air.
Slay tips it. Marshall couldn't make a play on it. He was falling backwards, and Quinn
he's
definitely in bounds.
But Cutler, there was a receiver right in front of him, but he's thinking, I didn't want to go short. Tries to go deep. Here's Brandon Marshall. Let's all watch who's underneath. Tight end, running back, took a chance. Boy, good job by Quinn reading the quarterback. Ball's in the air, hustled over there and made the interception.
His 4th interception of the season. The former safety of the Houston Texans. He was in this game a couple of years ago, but on the other side when the Texans won in overtime here. Set up screen to Riddick. Down to the 37, and another 5. You saw the division, NFC North. Here's the overall playoff picture in the NFC. The division leaders, Arizona, Green Bay, Philadelphia, and Dallas, both at 8-3. They're next up. Atlanta at 4-7, leading that NFC South. For Seattle and San Francisco later tonight. It's still hard to believe you look at a team with that record leading a division, though. Atlanta 4-7.
Yeah, it's tough to look at, but it's also fascinating to watch to see who can string a couple victories together. Lions probably just a few yards away from field goal range.
2nd and 5, and it's Bell. Oh, and he gets pushed forward. He ran over Monday at first and then gets bounced forward for 7 and a first down.
Yeah, you said it right. Sims pulls around, nice kick out block.
Bostic actually ended up unwittingly pushing him forward, trying to make the tackle. And as upside down as things are in that one division with Atlanta leading the NFC South, their crossover opponent this year in interconference play, the AFC North, you got all 3 teams at least 3 games over 500. Can't wait to see how that one works out. First and 10, and sidestepping the pressure. Stafford this time is hit by Allen.
It's a good job of not throwing it away by Matthew Stafford. And one thing I've noticed about him this year, he is moving around more to get out of trouble. Willie Young just right around. Beautiful move. And he's a little more mobile than we all give him credit for. But he's been on the run a couple games, Jim. And twice I've seen him win the game by moving and throwing the football for touchdowns. The last one, of course, against the Miami Dolphins here a few weeks ago.
Yeah, when he was running to his left and he found Riddick in the end zone. That's a sack by Allen. Setting up 2nd and 12. They fake the end around to Tate. And it's Bell. 2 yards short of the first. Stafford has such a unique throwing motion. We talked to him about it, Phil, and he's just, he doesn't really know how he learned how to throw the football with such velocity. He was a baseball player. We know that.
Right.
And he thinks his having played both shortstop and catcher, both had an influence on his throwing motion in football.
Well, you know, I'll just say this. He was born to throw. He was going to make a living somewhere, if it was in baseball, football, whatever. But it's very natural. He was a terrific shortstop. You can see it the way he gets leverage, can stand on his right foot, make all those throws. It just has an unbelievable, outstanding arm.
Here he is throwing on 3rd and 2, and almost turning around to make the grab was Johnson.
He could take a chance there, go for the touchdown. We said it, they're definitely in field goal range. Boy, nice coverage that time down the full field by Fuller. Yeah, Calvin Johnson didn't quite make the decision to look for the back shoulder throw quick enough. And he threw a laser down there. Would have been hard to catch no matter what.
Tim Jennings shaking up the corner for the Bears.
You know what? Few times, Jim, we've talked about it a lot. When the Bears corners have played man-to-man and bumped, they've been all over the wide receivers. Just like that last play. That was absolutely perfect coverage.
You're talking about how much velocity, how much heat that pass had that Stafford threw to Johnson.
Right.
He was a childhood friend and schoolmate of Clayton Kershaw, the 3-time Cy Young Award winner.
Well, go ahead. What did you say at our meeting? You go, you know, he told us that 2 years ago. But, you know, I wasn't, you know.
I didn't really realize how just brilliant this guy was going to be.
Yeah, well, he hadn't won enough Cy Youngs yet. So
three will do it.
Yeah, 3 get a mention.
And this is for a 3-score lead. With the kick from 40 yards out is good. And now they've doubled up the Bears at 34-17. Here we go.
What a throw!
Touchdown!
How did he do it?
Rodgers going up top.
Oh, what a grab!
Can you believe it?
It is unbelievable.
Yes. Here we go. Sunday afternoon, the national doubleheader game. We'll have it. New England at Green Bay on CBS. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Both teams healthy, playing really well. Both quarterbacks have offensive lines in front of them that give them time to throw and operate. Of course, it's Lambeau Field, which is pretty special also. I think I'm really curious to see what will the Patriots do on offense. Will they throw it every down, or will they try to run it over them? They seem to have extremes one way or the other.
That's Mariani taking a knee. And again, this 75th edition. It all goes back to this day, November 29th, 1934. There's a man who hatched the idea for this very occasion that lives on all these Thanksgivings later. What a genius, George Richards. Absolute brilliant idea. Love his favorite creation, the Thanksgiving Day game. He was the owner of the Lions. Came up with the idea, let's play on Thanksgiving Day, and here it lives all these years later.
Yep.
Now with a great triple header, and the first of 3 down to 6:16 to go. And a sack again. Ansah.
From the outside, they make, since they crowded the line of scrimmage, the offensive line had to block one way, and there you go, a little turkey dance. Oh, man.
He's ready to feast.
Did the turkey and eat the turkey, but wow, that protection put the running back Forte on Ziggy Ansah, no chance.
3rd sack for the Lions. All coming in this half. And Cutler saw more pressure. You see George Johnson slow to his feet. You're going to, in fact, take an official's timeout as George Johnson gets some attention down on the field. We're back in downtown Detroit, and the Lions up 34-17. This whole restoration of downtown Detroit, it is very noticeable. Great vibe here in Detroit.
No question. You can tell the difference from 2 years ago when we came here. Here we go, 3rd and long, down 3 scores.
3rd and 19 is how long it is. With Levy just throwing him out of bounds.
No.
You don't think they go for it here on 4th down, do you?
No, I don't think they do, because they're down 3 scores. If it was 2, maybe they would take a chance. I think if they'd have picked up more yards, even on a little short pass, they might have thought about it, but.
4th and 13 is the situation. Fair catch. Ross, 39-yard line. Again, we will see the Bears next Thursday taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Thursday Night Football returns to NFL Network next week. Dallas and Chicago.
When you watch the Bears, when they play at Soldier Field, they are a different football team. Of course, their home, their crowd, but I think their field, it's just like it favors them so much. That's not an easy adjustment when you go into Chicago, have to get used to that grass. It's not the fastest surface in the NFL.
Handoff, Bell, straight ahead for 3. Inside 5 minutes to play. For the Lions, about to go to 8-4. On the season. They actually, this is the first leg of a 3-game homestand. Timeout called Chicago. So 2 more home games to follow before they close out the regular season on the road at Chicago. Second matchup between these two, and at Green Bay.
Well, they play 3 teams in a row with a losing record. You know, coaches never get ahead of what they're doing. Let's play this game. But Jim Caldwell says we're ready. It's time to get hot and run this thing in there and try to get in the playoffs and make it happen.
We've had a great regard for Coach Caldwell for a long time, having gotten to know him really well in his days back in Indianapolis as a coordinator and as a head coach, and then coordinator with the Ravens. Here's Bell. Nice call outside. And he's got a 1st down. Joique Bell having a good afternoon of it now with a couple of touchdowns. That goes for 22.
Yeah, good job of just cutting back. Backside force player. Not sure who it was. It could have been Ryan Mundy. Gets caught inside, and Bell, nice run.
You're glad to see Jim Caldwell get a second chance as a head coach.
Yeah, it's interesting. He has had many interviews to be a head coach the second time. He said he's very thankful for the second chance.
There's Bell, 4 more. And again, a reminder, the NFL doubleheader day on CBS. Sunday, early, San Diego and Baltimore, but the big headline comes late. New England and Green Bay. There's all this talk, and I know it's early. The players don't want to hear it, the coaches especially so. But every fan right now would say that might be the Super Bowl preview. And we're going to have it for you Sunday afternoon on CBS. Second and 6, now moving it inside 4 minutes. You know, back to Jim Caldwell. So he took over for Tony Dungy, took a team to the Super Bowl with the Colts. Then they had that year where Peyton got hurt and everything went wrong. Number of other injuries. Lost his job, landed with the Ravens. was part of their whole Super Bowl mix. He's now, well, he's coached 2 quarterbacks to Super Bowl MVP awards, Peyton Manning and Joe Flacco, and now again he gets the chance here. He wanted this job here when it was open.
But he told his agent, there's one job I'd like, it to be the Detroit Lions. Why? Because they have defensive linemen. They got Calvin Johnson. He knew they had a quarterback. And, you know, he says, oh, I'm the same guy I was with the Indianapolis Colts. I don't know. When I'm watching in practice in these games, I see a different, you know, vibe from him, or a mentality, a little more in control or more forceful. I guess that's the best way to say it.
He told his agent when the job became open, we need to go after this one. And he got it, and it's been a perfect fit. His wife, Cheryl, and their 4 children, and 2 grandkids, and other family members are all waiting for this game to end. Coach Caldwell to come home and have Thanksgiving dinner together. As Bell has another first down inside the 20 down to the 16.
Well, the Lions trying to finish this game out with style, no doubt. This last drive, nice cut across. Pettigrew gets a block. Yeah, Matthew Stafford, don't even think about it. Don't even think about blocking somebody.
Bell's up to 87 yards on the ground on 20 attempts.
Boy, Detroit, this offense, they needed it. They needed a shot of confidence. They got it today. Throwing, now running the ball well.
Keep feeding him the football. He's got another yard.
Jim, they're a dangerous team if they get in the playoffs for many reasons. They got the quarterback, receiver, the offensive line. Haven't talked about them enough. The first quarter struggle for about halfway through it, and now they've picked it up. The run game, they protected Matthew Stafford. But you got Calvin Johnson, all those pass rushers. If they can make it to the playoffs, they're capable of beating anybody.
I'll tell you what's looming now is a huge Week 17 encounter up at Lambeau Field against Green Bay. Could have a lot riding on that one. 2nd and 9. Bell tiptoes around the first tackle attempt and plows ahead for 2. Coming up, the Subway post-game show. JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, Coach Cowher, all the highlights, analysis, plus a preview of the rest of the Thanksgiving action. It's coming up on the Subway post-game show. Timeout called by the Bears here with 2:12 to go. Well, you're talking about if they get into the playoffs, and there are no cinches in this league, but at 8-4, this is a franchise very well positioned. Again, favorable schedule. The next 3 opponents, as you pointed out, all sub 500. Next 2 at home.
Well, it's a chance. And I think
if they can get another playmaker like Reggie Bush back,
that'll really help. It was really interesting before the game. That's why we were shocked to hear he wasn't going to be or play today. Now, of course, they're extremely happy he didn't. They're going to win the game. He gets rested.
That's right.
But just hear the attitude of the coaches. Joe Lombardi saying what he does to their football team. That everybody, man, Reggie, a lot of players look up to him. You got to defend him differently. Mel Tucker for the Chicago Bears, the defensive coordinator, was very concerned if Reggie Bush was going to play. And you can never have enough weapons, that's for sure.
Meanwhile, Bell has come in, carried the load, the only one with the rush attempt today. This is his 23rd carry, and that brings him up to 92 yards. By the way, talking about the Lions' possible playoffs, the last playoff win, not appearance, win, came in 91 against the Cowboys. They're starved to get there and win again. The voting is in from CBSSports.com, and Calvin Johnson is the runaway fan choice here at 60% of the vote. And I don't know what percentage you're giving me, but I would back that one up too.
Oh yeah, I think overwhelmingly Calvin Johnson's going to win the award. The voting is in.
Voting is in. It's done.
It's done. What a job by him. Been nicked up this year, but looked absolutely terrific out there on the field today.
4th and 6, they'll run another play. They're going to throw it actually to Tate, and he's covered up in a hurry by Hurst. So now the Bears will come back out.
But you know, Calvin Johnson, you know, it was interesting talking to him on Tuesday just about, we talked about early in the game, how big he is. And, you know, the toll all the running and hitting takes on him, even more than it would a smaller wide receiver. Talked about running in the pool, doing his conditioning there to take the strain off of his legs and everything. And, boy, today watching him warm up and during this game, you can tell he's 100%.
Saw him smile for a moment. I think somebody may have told him he won the Phil Simms All-Iron Award.
You think that made him smile?
That's
I don't
probably
know.
what it was.
I think all those catches today might have done it in the touchdown.
11 for 146 and 2 touchdowns as Cutler connects. Marshall stays in bounds. Again, the Subway postgame show is straight ahead. We'll be wrapping things up from here, and we'll have the presentation to Calvin Johnson of the
we got a warning.
All-Iron Award.
The trophy weighs about 50 pounds. So.
Kadeem Carey takes that pass for about 6-7 yards.
Well, the Bears had a little reprieve, didn't they? Winning 2 games.
And then the whole thing flipped here in this game. They got off to a good start.
Yeah, got everything. They haven't done that, but you know what it is? Their defense just cannot hold up against these top quarterbacks who could just, you know, you're throwing against zones in the NFL. Good quarterbacks beat it up.
Here's Cutler's pass pulled down by Bennett. And the Bears have managed 3 points since the first quarter. And you're talking about going against good quarterbacks now in 3 consecutive road games. They go against Brady, Rodgers, and Stafford. And they give up 51, 55, and 34. That was a 23-yard play to Bennett. And that's knocked down, but it merits a flag on Tahir Whitehead.
Pass interference. Defense number 59. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
Lance Barrow and the crew inside the truck have decided to go ahead and put up the win for the Lions. We wait until they make it official.
Is that it?
We don't have a vote in that one. We don't get 50% of the vote on that. When they put it on the graphic, it is over, folks. So the Lions are 8-4.
Hey, look, you know what? We've almost counted some games over, and we've seen teams come back from nowhere, and you go, boy, it's a good thing we didn't jump out there too early.
We didn't do that. Lance and Mike Barlow did. We don't do that. That's Perry with the catch for no gain.
Well, this is it from here to Green Bay. The big game on Sunday. Go watch to see the Cowboys against the Bears next Thursday night. Pretty good, another good week of football coming up.
Final 20 seconds here. Cutler and the Bears, who were so sharp at the beginning. Bennett stays in bounds, and that may do it. Officials trying to run it in place to allow him one more snap, but we're not going to, well, maybe we do get there. Looks like it's an official play. Flag is down, and fantasy owners are begging for a Bears touchdown in some cases. As Carey takes the lateral, that's a forward lateral. I can spot that one. I wasn't sure they got the play off in time. Definitely didn't appear that anyone was, or everyone was fully set.
I didn't think they got it off in time.
Bears are going to fall to 5-7, and you can't mathematically rule them out. But man, it is from this point forward, again, with all the superb records in the NFC, clearly you got to win the next 4. And I'm still not sure that's even going to be close enough.
I agree.
There are 2 fouls on the play. 12 men, defense, illegal forward pass on offense. By rule, those penalties offset, replay, first down. We'll extend the quarter for 1 play.
So the game is extended. Coming back for seconds.
Did he get the football snap in time?
Just
They did. How about
fractions.
The only thing about situations like this that always make you nervous is for your quarterback or receiver, just be careful.
To the end zone, intercepted. Intercepted by Ihedibo to close it out. Second pick of the game for the Lions defense. So that's it. Final score 34-17. Lions defeat the Bears. Subway post-game show is coming up. Happy Thanksgiving to you, Phil, and all the family.
Jim, same to you. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there.
Yeah. To Tracy, to Mike Carey, and all the crew and their family members. God bless you all. What could be better than a day built on one theme? Gratitude, thanks, appreciation. I speak on behalf of all the men and women of this NFL crew, several hundred strong. We send along our love and gratitude, counting our blessings for those you are about to see.